What's up guys, it's Krishna here and welcome back to the channel. So, Go Battle League has been down for over a week now, but guess what? I've still got plenty of footage from the battles that I did record before GBL went down, and I'm going to be showcasing another really exciting set of battles featuring Swampert once again. Yeah, I've made a lot of videos on Swampert this season, especially over the last couple of weeks. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't help it. It's just so OP. And to be completely honest with you, I mean, over 90% of the Ultra League battles that I won this season have been purely because of Swampert. And I'm not even exaggerating here because it's just so reliable in being able to close out games, especially when you save two shields for it. And because I've tried a bunch of anti-meta weird team comps and tank my score this season, every time I wanted to get my score back up, Swampert has always been there for me. So in this set of battles, I'm going to be using Swampert along with different team comps. Basically, I'm going to be switching out the other Pokemon, but Swampert is going to be that constant factor to be able to close out games. And I'll leave the timestamps and the different team comps that I'm going to be using, and also the different team comps that I'm going to be going up against in the pinned comments below, so you can just jump over and check that out. Check out the specific matchups there. But for now, let's just get straight into the topic. Okay, moving on to the first battle right here. We have, I'm going to be trying Giratina, Snorlax, and Swampert in the first team. Like I said, I'm just going to continuously change the team comp with Swampert being the constant in the back. And speaking of the devil, we're met with the Swampert here. This is not a positive matchup because Swampert can definitely beat Snorlax on even shields, because it's going to be able to outpace Snorlax to those charge moves. This is probably going to be just a Hydro Cannon, but it ends up being a Surf, so they probably don't have Hydro Cannon, which is fine. So just going to farm just a little bit of extra energy and then throw the Body Slam right here. At this point, we've got two back-to-back stored up, so this Body Slam gets shielded. So it's probably going to be another Surf right here, which is why I'm not going to shield this. It ends up being an Earthquake, actually. So yeah, I was completely wrong there. That's actually something that I was wary of, but unfortunately I let it go through. Gonna throw another Body Slam. They make a switch into Charizard. Okay, so I'm gonna switch into Giratina right here, and you'll observe that most matchups, whenever my opponent safe switches into Charizard, I go into Giratina and not Swampert, because I want to keep Swampert for endgame, because Swampert can potentially have better matchups towards endgame than Giratina. Now, considering that he had a Swampert and Charizard at the front, it's almost sure that he has something in the back which is good against Giratina, right? Every team has at least one, if not two, Giratina counters, which is why I think, because Giratina can handle Charizard, I don't feel the necessity to basically bring in Swampert at this point, because Giratina is going to be able to win this matchup anyways. And like I said, there's an Alolan Muck in the back. This is exactly the reason why I didn't bring out my Swampert, because if I had done that, then my Giratina in the back would have been absolutely destroyed by this Muck. But luckily, we still have Swampert, which can absolutely destroy the Muck right here. Just going to stay in and throw as many Dragon Claws as possible, but unfortunately, it looks like they're actually farming us down for quite a bit of energy. So this is not great. So I'm just gonna bring in Snorlax and hope they use some of the energy right there, which is great. Now they decide to throw some energy, which is absolutely fine by me. Not gonna shield this. Swampert with two shields, that's the standard game plan right here. They've overfarmed quite a bit, so I'm just gonna shield right here because Dark Pulse would do about 40% of Swampert's health. And I want to preserve some health on my Swampert at this point. I'm gonna throw the Hydro Cannon right away before they're able to get off a Dark Pulse. They still have Swampert in the back. So I'm gonna have to be wary of that as well. I'm gonna let this go through because a move from Swampert would do quite a bit of damage. Earthquake probably from Swampert would do much more than a Dark Pulse, which is why I let it go through. So just gonna overfarm just a little bit and then throw the Hydro Cannon immediately, because I don't want to eat another charge move right here. This Hydro Cannon should definitely take out Alolan Muck, and out comes Swampert. So at this point, I think I'm just gonna go straight for the Earthquake, because I believe the Swampert is in perfect Earthquake range. Gonna shield the Surf right here and hope to get to this Earthquake before they're able to get off charge move. And my Swampert has 15 attack, which means that it's gonna win CMP in most scenarios. And this Earthquake is just gonna take out the opposing Swampert. So perfect Swampert finish right there, like I was talking about, right? Saving two shields for Swampert, it can pretty much pull out wins from any situation. So this was another example here, and let's move into the next one. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep switching the teams. I mean, my first two Pokemon, I should say. It's going to basically switch between Snorlax, Charizard, Giratina, and Articuno. I believe these are the four Pokemon that I typically have been using in my meta lines. even Alolan Muck occasionally, but it's something that I tend to avoid a little bit because it's so weak to Swampert, and I don't want to bring in Pokemon that are extremely weak to Swampert, even though it has such a fantastic matchup against Giratina. So at this point, I'm going to go with Giratina, Charizard, and Swampert. This team is slightly weak to Giratina at the back, but we'll see what happens. We met with a Mewtwo, an armored Mewtwo. Pretty positive matchup because the Shadow Claws and Shadow Sneaks would do super effective damage. They make a switch into Registeel. This is beautiful. This team comp right here is basically built to take down Registeel because I have two hard counters for Registeel in the back, Charizard and Swampert. Don't have to shield this because Flash Cannon, I mean, doesn't really do that much. Even though Charizard is so glassy, you can see how well it tanks the Flash Cannon, right? So I'm just going to go straight Blast Burn here because I want to either pressure shields or pressure health. There's basically no point baiting right here. Definitely not going to shield this because we can tank another one. It's going to take 3 Flash Cannons to get rid of Charizard in the Ultra League. But I'm just gonna go straight for the Blast Burn again. Like I said, I want to win switch advantage, or I want him to burn both shields. So at this point, he decides to give up 2 shields. This is absolutely fantastic. Again, Charizard has basically done its job, gotten 2 shields from the Registeel. I'm gonna let it go through again. Swampert with 2 shields can basically handle anything. So at this point, I'm just gonna bring in Swampert right here, and then just go to town on this Registeel. But they make a switch into their own Swampert, so I'm going to switch into Giratina. We have a lot of unloaded energy, so Giratina is going to obviously do great against Swampert, especially with a shield and an energy advantage, even though I don't really plan to sort of burn any shields on Giratina here. I'm just going to continuously throw these Dragon Claws because we stored up on quite a bit of energy in that Armored Mewtwo matchup. This is probably going to be an Earthquake, I'm almost sure of it, but I'm still not going to shield because, like I said, that's the game plan. In 90% of the situations, just save 2 shields for Swampert and just believe in Swampert to basically close out games. So another Dragon Claw coming through gets the Swampert critically low. At this point, it's probably just going to be a Hydro Cannon right here because it was too soon to be an Earthquake. It's not going to take us out, so I'm going to be able to Shadow Claw farm this Swampert down. And they still have a Registeel in the back and an Armored Mewtwo. So a Registeel comes in. I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Sneak and try and switch out right here. The Shadow Sneak is going to do a decent amount of damage. And at this point, this Registeel is in perfect farm down range, right? So I'm going to shield this because even if it's a Flash Cannon, I don't want to really risk it at this point. So just going to commit to the Mud Shot farm down on the Registeel, and we have so much energy. And the Armored Mewtwo is in big trouble right here because I have at least 2 Hydro Cannons stored up right here. First Hydro Cannon coming through, second Hydro Cannon right here. It's going to take 3 Hydro Cannons to get rid of an Armored Mewtwo from full health. So, and we have a shield advantage as well. So there's basically no chance for him right here because I'm just going to shield this, and then Swampert is basically just going to go to town. Yeah, third Hydro Cannon coming through. This is definitely going to take this Armored Mewtwo out, and that's going to be GG. So actually they decided to give up the match there. But anyways, once again, from a situation where the match actually looks kind of iffy, but Swampert just comes in and just wins with so much ease sometimes towards the back end. That's the best part about it. And no matter what team comp you run it in, you can see that it works so well, right? Especially because especially when you're running kind of bulky Pokemon in the first and second positions, you typically can get by without having to shield those because that's the key, right? I mean, even though Charizard in that last matchup wasn't bulky, Registeel matchup is very favorable where you could get by without using shields, and that's the ideal situation, right? When you sort of save 2 shields for it, having tanky Pokemon in the beginning can really help in that regard as well. Met with a Scizor right here. We'll have to wait and see if it's Bullet Punch. It is Bullet Punch, which does super effective damage. So bring in Snorlax right here. They bring in Sceptile. This is beautiful because now Swampert can avoid the Sceptile. And in this matchup, I'm going to be running Articuno, Snorlax, and Swampert. So again, a different team comp this time. Not going to shield this again. Snorlax is basically just there to just absorb all these charge moves. Leaf Blade does still do quite a bit of damage, so just going to throw the Body Slam right here. Let's see if they decide to burn the second shield because Sceptile is extremely glassy. Even Body Slam would hurt quite a bit. They decide to give up 2 shields. This is even better. I mean, this is the perfect situation, right? Save 2 shields to Swampert. Just make sure they burn both their shields. Again, like I said, not going to shield Snorlax at all. They're going to get off another charge move right here. Absolutely fine by me because I can easily come back in with Articuno and then do a lot of damage to the Sceptile. I'm just going to commit to the complete farm down here. Doesn't matter how many charge moves they get off because everything is going to be resisted by Articuno because of that flying typing. And just going to commit to the complete farm down here. And they're going to get off another charge move right here, which is fine. Like I said, not going to shield this again. We have 2 back-to-back Icy Winds to throw at whatever is going to come out next. So it's a Charmer. So I'm just going to go straight for the Icy Wind here and try and debuff it and then make a switch into Swampert because I won't be taking a lot of damage from Charms. We make a simultaneous switch. They make a switch into Scizor and I have Swampert. This is GG's here. With a 2 shield advantage, there's nothing this Scizor can do. I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake because even though both Hydro Cannon and Earthquake are neutral, Hydro Cannon is not going to one-shot it. So, and I'm probably going to have to end up eating another charge move. So might as well just go for the Earthquake, and also they got the boost. So just want to get rid of the Scizor as quick as possible. And they still have a Grand Bull in the back. So I'm just going to go straight for the Hydro Cannon right here. And this should pretty much come close to taking out this Grand Bull because it's fairly glassy and Hydro Cannon would do quite a bit of damage. So even if it doesn't take us out, it's fine because I still have Articuno in the back and it should pretty much seal the deal here. So again, pretty convincing win. Swampert once again, just making it look so easy. Even though in these scenarios we did maintain this shield advantage, which was really key, I think that really helped us to pull through. So again, going with a different team comp this time. Like I said, I was talking about it right before the previous battle. You know, having 2 really tanky Pokemon, basically, and just making sure that they don't have any common weaknesses. Could really help with this team comp. Again, I think having Giratina and Registeel would be the optimal situation. If not Registeel, maybe having Cresselia. Having 2 of either Giratina, Registeel, or Cresselia would be perfect in the first and second positions. And Swampert can basically go to town. I think that would be probably the strongest Ultra League teams out there. But unfortunately, I really can't afford a Registeel at this point, especially for Ultra League. So we met with a Gyarados. It's good for me because Swampert doesn't have a great matchup against Gyarados. Even Giratina doesn't really have a great matchup against Gyarados, but Gyarados is kind of very squishy in Ultra League, right? So you're going to do quite a bit of damage with these Shadow Claws and Dragon Claws, even though their Dragon Breaths and Crunch is going to do super effective damage. I'm going to shield the first one because it's going to do quite a bit of damage, like I said. I'm going to pressure him to shield as well because with this Dragon Claw would get this Gyarados pretty low. They don't shield this. This is absolutely fine. So I'm just going to switch it to Snorlax right here and then soak the charge move. But unfortunately, they switch into Armored Mewtwo. This is beautiful for me because Lick is doing super effective damage. And even though Armored Mewtwo has access to Dynamic Punch, which would hit for super effective against Snorlax, it still lacks Stab, and Armored Mewtwo is not a very attack-heavy Pokemon. So it's not really going to do that much, even though it's super effective. So I'm just going to chip away with Body Slams, hoping to burn some shields. They're still sticking or holding on to their shields right here. So... okay, so Dynamic Punch, not going to shield it, like I said, doesn't do that much. At this point, I can just commit to Lick, Lick farm, farming this Mewtwo down with Lick, basically. So, lose the CMP against Gyarados, absolutely fine. Not going to shield this, because I can come back with Giratina and Shadow Claw farm this Gyarados down. Even though we're taking a lot of damage from Dragon Breaths, it's fine because now we have quite a bit of energy to throw at whatever's going to come out next. It's a Melmetal. This is beautiful. So even though we're at a shield disadvantage, I have at least 2 charge moves and they're not going to be able to Thunder Shock the Giratina down, which means I can get off the second charge move. I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw for the second one because I'm anticipating a shield right here. And we get the shield. Absolutely perfect. This is beautiful because I have Swampert in the back with... and Swampert on even shields against Melmetal. It's a pretty much one-sided matchup right here. At this point, I can go straight for the Hydro Cannon because Melmetal at this point is in Hydro Cannon range, and even if they don't shield this, it's going to take it out. So they shield this is absolutely fine. I'm not going to shield this because even if it's superpower, nothing's really going to do that much. It ends up being a Rock Slide bait. Doesn't really matter because they can't even get the next charge move off, and Swampert is going to be able to finish once again. So Melmetal goes down right here, and that's a 4-0 in this set. So that's very dominant so far. Sometimes I don't know, like when you get on a roll like this, you just keep going with it, and it's something that I've observed as well. It's really very satisfying as well when you can get on a roll like this. There are certain other situations where the complete opposite happens when you keep losing, but this is exactly the opposite. So we met at the Venusaur right here, very positive lead. I'm going to be leading Articuno this time. This is Articuno, Snorlax, and Swampert again. So they make a switch into their Snorlax, so I'm going to switch into Swampert right here. Typically, I don't do this, but because I want to avoid Venusaur, I switch into Swampert right here. Swampert has a pretty positive matchup against Snorlax. Not going to shield this, just going to be a body slam right here. Going to build up to an earthquake and then throw the hydro cannon. But unfortunately, they did quite farm up on quite a bit of energy on my... I mean, I was slightly late on the switch, which is why they had the energy advantage right there. So just going to throw the hydro cannon immediately. We have back-to-back stored up at this point, and we get the shield. Absolutely perfect. So I can go straight for the earthquake right here. It's going to do quite a bit of... It's going to do like over 50% of Snorlax's health if it goes unshielded. And it goes unshielded. This is perfect for me. So I think I'm going to let this go through, because I can probably still get to a hydro cannon without shielding. Let's see if I can get to a hydro cannon. That's going to be close. No, unfortunately, we don't get to the hydro cannon. That's kind of a miscalculation on my part, because we lose switch advantage right now, which is not ideal, because I would have loved to line up my Articuno against the Venusaur. But I'm going to bring in Snorlax right here and just going to throw the body slam. But unfortunately, though, like I said, just losing switch advantage is not ideal, but we're still in a pretty positive position, because let's see what they have in the back. It's a Giratina, so this is okay for me, because Articuno can do well against both Giratina and Venusaur. I'm actually surprised they didn't bring out their Venusaur. I think that's one mistake they made. They probably should have brought out the Venusaur right here, because, Snorlax is a pretty positive matchup against Giratina as well. But this is a Dragon Breath variant, which is doing quite a bit of damage to my Snorlax. So I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake right here. Doing a lot of damage to Giratina, but unfortunately they commit to the farm down. This is not ideal. So they're going to be able to spam us with a couple of Dragon Claws right here. Not going to shield, because Venusaur Sludge Bomb would probably do the most damage out of all these moves. So this is definitely going to chip away along with these Dragon Breaths. I'm going to commit to the farm down. I'm going to commit to farming this Giratina down, so that I have a couple of Icy Winds ready to go on the Swampert. And let's see what we have here. So beg your pardon, against the Venusaur. So gonna throw the first Icy Wind right here. They still have a shield, so they're gonna shield that up, which is absolutely fine, because I can get to the second Icy Wind before they're able to get off a charge move. And at this point, this is gonna do super effective damage, and also double debuff this Venusaur right here. And at this point, I can just shield this up, because even if it's Frenzy Plant, it probably would come close to taking us out. It's a Sludge Bomb, which is fine, and I can just Ice Shard this Venusaur down and take the win. So that's, I believe, a 5-0 in this set. Again, not too often that I went 5-0, to be honest. It's probably the third time that I went 5-0 in Season 2 Ultra League. So this is actually pretty... Most of the matchups are pretty dominant matchups. I mean, it looked in certain scenarios where I probably would lose, but Swampert basically made it look very easy towards endgame as well. So again, a solid set of battles right there. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button as well. And I'll be bringing more Go Battle League battles. And I'll see you in the next one.